Good morning. After winning the Atlas Globe Award in 1956, he probably realized that he didn't really want to be at Villanova University to become a Catholic priest or medical doctor, but instead he wanted to be an actor. After hearing the applause of his satisfied audience and having his name printed in a newspaper theater review, he knew he wanted to perform and hear laughter for the rest of his life. There was a great news within the Buono house on Wednesday, June 6, 1956, when Victor Charles was 17 years old and was a valedictorian at St. Augustine High School. On that day, Father John R. Ahern honored all of the graduates, and Victor Charles shared these few words to his graduating class of 1956, saying, "Our sword is knowledge, and there is no knowledge that is not power." Another chapter in Victor Charles's life was his lasting friendship with Peggy Kellner. You will be reading about her many accomplishments and giving you an idea of the talented people who surrounded Victor Charles's early career as an actor. The Old Globe Theater costume designer Peggy Kellner recalled Victor Charles when he first started acting there in 1956. In the Ranch and Coast magazine in April 27, 2015, Peggy Kellner quoted, "When Victor Buono first started at the Globe, I told him he had to learn to paint and sew because he wasn't going to be just an actor. He learned to run the sewing machines and used to make hats. When he did Threepenny Opera, he came down and said, 'You need help?' And I said, 'Of course.' I was wood graining the set, using those thick black felt tip pen on everything. Furniture, the doors, the set, the floor, everything. I got him started on that, and he was there for 2 days wood graining everything he could get his hands on. He'd come in and out during the Shakespeare, and he'd work on shoes or make hats, leaving little notes tucked away for the actors to get. This was specially worked on for you by Victor Buono." We had a great deal of fun with him. Many years later, in 1990, when I first met my mentor, Martin Garish, at the Grove Playhouse, he too did exactly what Victor Charles did by putting his hands to work in building sets, painting walls, wood graining furniture, repairing shoes, costumes, and hats. Both Buono and Garish were taught by Peggy Kellner to be more than just being actors or directors if you wanted a rich and long life in theater. Garish was part of the Oak Globe Theater family of Craig Knoll and Peggy Kellner. In 1956, he had the leading role of a U.S. Army officer, Hero, in the stage production of Voice in the Wind at the Ruskin Theater in Tucson, Arizona. And he had a small part in the motion picture The Bottom of the Bottle, starring Van Johnson and Joseph Cotton, filmed by 20th Century Fox Studios. He also directed the light comedy production Jane by S.N. Berman in January 27, 1956. We're now moving into 1957, and if you thought 1956 was chaotic and unbelievable, it only gets more perplexing with every word. Victor Charles was on the rise after winning his first Globe Atlas Award for Best Actor, and it would change his acting future substantially. Victor Charles was 18 years old and had more confidence after graduating from St. Augustine High School and having been chosen valedictorian that year in 1956. At this point in time, his theatrical body of work was Aladdin and Hans Brinker and the Silver Skates at the San Diego Junior Theater in 1954. Come slowly Eden, Hamlet, and Barrett's of Wimpole Street at the St. Augustine High School in 1955, and Midsummer Night's Dream, King Richard II, and Vopone at the Oak Globe Theater in 1956. Victor Charles had received a scholarship to Villanova University in Pennsylvania. As far as I know, he only attended there for a short time. I contacted Villanova University to find out his records when he was there and when he left, but they wouldn't release any dates to me at all. There is a photo of Victor Charles at Villanova University when he was 18 years old. It was his Villanova University student class photo of 1957, and when closely looking at Victor Charles's facial expression, he didn't appear to be very happy, and that may have been the reason why he didn't continue staying there. This was the first time Victor Charles lived away from his family, friends, and the Oak Globe Theater. By being away from his two mentors, Father John R. Ahern and director Craig Noe, this might have been the reason he wanted to return to San Diego, California after all. After winning the Atlas Globe Award in 1956, he probably realized that he didn't really want to be at Villanova University to become a Catholic priest or medical doctor, but instead he wanted to be an actor. After hearing the applause of a satisfied audience and having his name printed in a newspaper theater review, he knew he wanted to perform and hear laughter for the rest of his life. He soon enrolled in the University of San Diego in 1957, and there are several photos of him in the school album that year. He performed in the production of Jenny Missed Me, and it was staged at the Puppet Theater in Balboa Park in May of 1957. Then on April 14th, 1957, he was performing in the production of The Betrayal at the Balboa Park Organ Pavilion.